The cage that actually fell during that cutscene was one that we saw a very long time ago when we snuck into the forest through the fence. We couldn't actually reach it because it was surrounded by a staircase that was not actually filled in of K tokens. And once we beat every level, the staircase is formed. Now, because the only thing that was creating the next levels was Dennis's antics throughout the game, there was no reason for us, up until this point, to travel to the second levels of any of the worlds. But now, because we need every other K token to be full, this is normally when every player would be doing their backtracking and getting the rest of the missions fulfilled. But we thought ahead. We don't need to do any of that. Instead, we just need to
Dodge that butterfly.
that butterfly is also green because this counts as through the trees. Now let's see. The entire switch that has been accessible from the very beginning of the game. What does it do? It opens the bridge, or rather closes it. That takes us to the second part of Through the Trees. First pointing out that is Jersey Town. That City Hall is all of Jersey Town. And beyond this bridge is Knarf's Lair, which I really don't think you'd want to advertise. Also, his one defense was spawning that bat. And the security drone, which has... Why would I be in front of the security drone pointed at the bottomless pit, I ask you? And the leaves return. This time not disembodied floating in midair, but rather positioned close to a stalk to pretend that they are actually attached to the thing. And somehow the camera saw that. The camera saw me kill that bat, and I jumped through the stalk there. Now, if I can lose this camera... Wow, look at that bullet go. It's finally reached the draw distance. Now, at this point, Jersey Devil thinks it's in some weird amalgamation of Batman the Animated Series and a Tim Burton film, and these purple and green stalks are pretty much the theme of Knarf's Forest, and they're out of nowhere, really. Now, at this point, you can see there's a split path, two bridges, one bridge with gaps, one without. Let's go to the one without, because this is surely the one that leads to the rest of the level. Rather, it leads to the last two one-ups I actually need, and a Wolfman, who at this point is really not a threat at all because we've learned not to actually engage it in battle. Play a little stealth there on this camera with no draw distance at all. Let's get a good look at that camera. If the bat doesn't knock me through the hole, it doesn't. Actually, let's see if... Oh god! It had its revenge after it got a tag team partner. Why wouldn't I have a checkpoint? Okay, going on it.
So, the holes in the bridges, those are actually holes. They're not just a texture.
Those are actually holes. Those are not a texture.
I was so surprised when you actually fell through them. I thought you were just jumping over them for show.
Oh, no, actually, if we hold straight here as he jumps, when he reaches the edge of a platform, he will automatically jump this for me. So I don't even need to bother. It's really the most pointless mechanic. It's only there so the bats can knock you down it, really. Also, the bats are infinitely respawning in this area as well. Now, crossing the last bridge without even looking at the screen right now. My eyes are closed.
We're crossing the last bridge. You're gonna edit what?
We've already cut back. These leaves, repeating pretty much the same mechanic because they need to link it to this. A new mechanic, the winch controlling the bridge for no reason. Okay, that was actually a pretty fun mechanic. I'm sure they implemented that just so I could enjoy it. Also, we can raise the bridge. I like they put the little detail of being able to raise and lower the bridge from this side, because then we'd have the looming question, how did Dennis get across and put it up once he... Oh, I thought I survived that. But of course, the bat pushed me off the edge. And of course, I still don't have a checkpoint. At this point, the bats really become a problem through sheer volume alone. Also, if I actually take the time to destroy the bats before moving through the game, they're not.
I'm trying to this up for you because, as visually striking as the third stalk with plants out of it. Oh, that shiny pumpkin. I'm trying to speed this up for viewer's sake. No, another bridge with holes in it with an interesting mechanic. Footnoted by an actual interesting mechanic. Here you can see we have tiny leaves that lead to completely shatter all of my perceived notions about this game. I have no idea what to do next. I guess kill the spot bat, because that's what they always do. Now you can see that there is somewhere between a Chinese lantern and a piñata hanging from this plant. What they didn't actually point out in the manual is that that is a fruit. They didn't point it out in the graphics either, because really, that's a fruit. If we knock it down, it'll explode, and the seed will roll into a hole, which will instantly sprout and grow a different-looking plant with bigger leaves than its parent in an instant of the time. And these tiny leaves work just like the regular leaves because they are just scaled-down models. Ignoring the bad collision detection, they're actually not that much of a problem. Also, this bat does not give me a checkpoint. Oh wait, I actually had one. This tiny plant, ignoring the bat, grows, does not actually grow. If you can see that this is actually a cross-section between that previous plant and a new plant, one that has incredibly frightening fixtures on it, the infinitely respawning bat, ladies and gentlemen. See, there's already one below me, and there's one coming in from the distance there, so I'm waiting for this one before I even try mentioning these plants again.
When you're spinning, are you invincible?
Obviously not.
You got hit from up underneath?
Yeah, I actually am invincible during that time, but the collision I'm supposed to be, but the collision detection is so bad, there is a point when I'm touching the leaves that I can no longer actually be spinning. And I think this is the point where the bats are actually spawning from like 5 different triggers at once, so it's really impossible to actually clear the screen of bats. Ugh. Okay, I'm mentioning these plants. These plants are incredibly frightening for my 12-year-old self because they have sliding physics. The texture is actually very slippery. You will slide right off. The focal point is a bisection down the middle, and they have human eyes. And I like to think that they are incredibly painful to have being stepped on. Now, you'd think you want to continue on, / get hit by a bat again, but no, we haven't used this mechanic just quite enough yet. There we go again. Also, this potted plant is very envious of that plant that just got planted in the ground. It's really just rubbing it in his face. And I'm okay with that, because those things have caused more than enough turbulence for me in the past. Right on the plant's eyeball. There should never be an eyeball in a plant. Now, this section, ignoring the Wolfman, is a callback. Ignoring the Wolfman is a callback to Dome Sweet Dome, where we had to knock over parts of the cogs in the elevator shaft to progress through the level. But because they didn't actually appropriate the distances the leaves can bounce you, I'm wondering if they're actually spawning extra bats because this is a recording. I don't remember this ever being a problem. And the Wolfman is standing right underneath my leaf, just so I can't be cocky about this anymore. Okay, this is the biggest train wreck I've ever had. You can bounce from that bottom leaf to this leaf, and from this leaf to the next leaf. You don't even have to knock those down. Just trust me. But because they knew they were going to screw up at least half the time, they implemented the same mechanic twice. This time without Wolfman. They also make you almost hit that camera in order to hit that leaf. The leaf that is actually 2D and not the 3D leaf. Or vice versa. Now, this actually looks like an interesting thing. We've got the 3 leaves that we have to smack, and we've got these 3 things down here. So what you think is, oh, I have to smack them on the way across and then walk across them really fast. But, no. You just have to, fall back down.
I'm guessing it's for people who spin every single time during their jumps, just so they have that ceiling, so if they do spin, they fall down.
Oh, I do understand that. It is nerfing the power of the jump spin. See? Look at it knock me off. Oh, it actually knocked me off. Maybe
That makes bats very effective if there were bats up there.
I'm pretty sure that they're on their way. Just
Well, if there were bats, you wouldn't be able to spin against them because there'd be a ceiling that'd knock you off.
Behavior Interactive, you have actually compiled 3 different elements of your game that form an impossible perfect storm of annoying. And also very painful to watch. I think I want to blow up this sprite and get it as a tattoo on my forehead and call it my 3rd eye. Because I just want to be very uncomfortable at parties. What we actually have to do is just come up here and punch the leaves. And then just step to the next one. It's really a lost opportunity, I think, for them. Because they didn't know how to program the leaves to have different times. Every leaf has the same timing as the previous ones. This bridge doesn't really go anywhere. So it makes me think it's more like a minecart rail track. And we're going to actually ride it down there and then go flying off of this and
Launch to the moon.
yeah, and that's how it actually comes into play. You're not supposed to spoil these things, Blind Cat.
Oh.
Also, this enemy actually reminds me somewhat of Blind Cat's logo. I didn't think it could walk onto the bridge, but of course, silly me. Oh, and this is the last time in the game we're connecting K and ARF. Also, it's from the same bunny out of the same hole every single time. Unless we stand on the hole, and then we'll be forced to come out of a different one. That's why they built more than one. And just in case you were standing on 2 holes at the same time, they built a 3rd hole. Just so you wouldn't catch on. Now, even though we have KNRF, and there was a K token here, we didn't use it there. They just did that when we got the KNRF. And also, there are holes on either side of this bridge, but bunnies will not spawn out of them. They're there to be there. Also, that last bat is not going to trick me. I am prepared. I think I've had enough practice and enough of killing bats. Now, there are 3 health pumpkins in front of this building, and at least 1 1-up. Oh, bat. Okay, that's the last bat, I swear. Ignoring the butterfly, getting every collectible, and going through the door. Okay, fine. 1 more bat for old time's sake. Now, this mansion is not copy-paste from the Haunted Mansion, I assure you. And the door, which is broken off its hinges, surely doesn't lead to nowhere. It leads to, well, I'll let you see for yourself.